Hey guys, I wanted to mix it up today and share my thoughts on the ever unfolding drama of today's David and Goliath 2021 edition. For those that aren't super familiar, I want to simplify things and catch you guys up to speed, but more importantly, I want to share a couple lessons and takeaways for every founder or consumer out there, regardless of if you're invested in the market or not. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard the rumblings of Gamestop, Wall Street, Robinhood, and countless of other characters. But if you haven't, here's a super simple, quick catch up. For weeks now, what started out as a small community banded together primarily on Reddit to discuss investing in a company or a stock they felt could rebound. In our case, that stock and company is GameStop. As this one small group grew and grew, they started to look around and say, hey, based on our mass, based on our size, we have a real opportunity here. If we all invest in the same stock at the same time, not only can we make $1, but we can make some money off the big, rich Wall Street hedge funds. So in their eyes, it was a double win. This group then puts their plan into action and then boom, it's all over the news. But it seems that today, the main character in our story centers around Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is an extremely simple investing platform that allows users of any experience level to easily invest or trade stocks and other commodities from their phone. Robinhood is definitely the go-to investing platform for your everyday retail trader, especially by this group that was formed on Reddit, because as the name suggests, as you guys remember the novel, Robinhood is based on taking from the rich and giving to the poor, which was the ethos of this group that was formed online. Now, therein lies the main issue. On Thursday of this week, Robinhood abruptly put a pause to buying all of the volatile stocks, especially GameStop, which was trading thousands and thousands of shares every second. Pausing the buying of this share absolutely sent an earthquake through the financial world because, as you know, nobody likes their voices being silenced. And in the financial space, not being able to buy a stock that you have money to buy is the equivalent of that. So when Robinhood added that to their plan on Thursday, it absolutely made a bad situation much worse. We really could get into the weeds on this, but I wanted to keep it super simple and catch you up on just the main ideas and the main concepts. We'll save the details for another time because this story is unfolding, but that's where we stand today. All of this leads me to my very first takeaway, which is if you're a founder or a business owner out there, it's extremely important to understand that the investment or the dollars you receive, or more importantly, the people you receive those investment dollars from, completely align with the short-term goals and the long-term goals of your business and your customers. So going back to our stories, you can imagine these Robinhood users are absolutely furious that they can't enact their plan. They want to continue buying the GameStop stock, but now their own trusted platform's not allowing them to do so. And when you get mad, you start digging, you start looking for clues, you start looking for information. And as more and more information comes out, a lot of Robinhood users had no clue that their biggest backer and owner of the company is a fund of Wall Street called Citadel. That Citadel fund is the one that was actually hemorrhaging all of this money while the users were buying this incredible stock. So if you can imagine the attitude and the sentiment, now they think Robinhood is actually just a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, pretending to be on the side of the retail consumers. And you know that can never end well. All of this leads me back to be careful and think about who is investing and partnering with you and your company. For example, let's say you wanted to start a business that was a clean, vegan, natural, plant-based food brand, but you take investment from the largest beef and poultry meat processing company in the country. The money may be enticing, but ultimately that's going to come out. And the customers, the brand that you've created can ultimately be alienated because they don't feel like you've been honest and transparent. Because if you care about the planet and you care about the food and you care about what we're putting into our bodies, why would you accept so much money from a group that has the opposite vision and mindset that we share? I think that's a little bit of what's going on, but that's a key lesson for all of us to take away from this. So my next key point is the advancement of technology is removing barriers. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all, but if you look at the big picture in every industry, new innovative companies that are getting funding and reaching success, their main thing that they're doing is they're removing barriers. So for example, think of Spotify or SoundCloud. It allows you to produce your music and share your content around the world without the need of a record label. Same thing with YouTube and other social media platforms that allows you to create content without having to reach out or audition in front of producers or going to a big network. Now, the internet as a whole plays a major part in this. As a whole, the idea is to share information and, more importantly, especially in this case, to strategize. I'm always so fascinated and blown away by all of the marches and protests that we saw over the last couple of years. I'm always, blown away on how do those guys know where to meet and know where to go. It's the power of the internet and it's the power of platforms to remove barriers and easily share information that makes that happen. And in our case, it's a group of hundreds of thousands of people that decided, hey, we're going to invest in a single stock on a single day, simultaneously at the same time, to make a dollar and stick it to Wall Street. Those are some of the incredible things that the internet has the ability to do. And the interesting thing about that is when you start removing those barriers, sometimes it exposes who's behind the scenes actually pulling the strings. So I think that's why just across the nation, it's an interesting sentiment that a lot of people share. It's, hey, sometimes you're rooting for the little guy. There's a lot of people out there that are rooting for the guys making these trades in their bedroom or their apartment or their patio. Not too many people are really feeling sorry for the Wall Street guys, because it really looks like the Wall Street guys ultimately are really pulling the strings on every turn and corner as the barriers are being removed and we start seeing actually what's going on. That leads me to my final lesson or tip or takeaway as I'm looking at some of these trending topics, and that's that days of non-transparency, I think, are going to come to an end. People are getting woke all across the country as more information is being shared to one another. We look at movies all the time and you see that one guard that's captured, 30 or 40 people. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, if only those 30 or 40 people got together, they can overtake that guard and they'd be free. It's kind of what's going on right now, and sometimes it's used for good, sometimes it's used for bad. And obviously, society will decide that. But just ultimately, from a business perspective, I would hate to create a company that all of the things behind the scenes, who's really in control, what moves are really being made, if they're not in the forefront, I wouldn't really want to be a part of that company. I wouldn't want to invest in that company. And I would suggest you guys kind of do the same. And it starts with you as a business owner, you as an employee, doing research on who you're working for, who you're partnering with, who your customers are, who you're buying product from. If you do those things, I think your future will be bright. And if you don't do those things or agree with those things, I think you may have an uphill battle. The days of secrecy and the days of ulterior motives, I think slowly, hopefully in my lifetime, will come to an end. And really good, honest companies and business where everybody knows what they're getting comes to light, I think is going to be the right way to go about and grow a company or work for a company. So this video has been super, super random. Sorry for the rambling. I was so intrigued by what was going on so many different levels that I figured, hey, why not share my thoughts and ideas? Everybody else is doing it. So feel free to check out all my other videos on YouTube. Hopefully you liked it. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Peace.